Bitcoin. So say tomorrow Putin says, hey, we're going all in Bitcoin. We're mining. It's legal tender, or it's G, or it's North Korea, something like that. All of a sudden, Bitcoiners have the meme of it's for our enemies. What happens when the world is now pointed at you and all of us Bitcoiners are in the crosshairs, really, literally and figuratively, of, hey guys, you're standing with so-and-so.
Bitcoin certainly is money for enemies. I think that if our adversaries begin adopting a really accommodative Bitcoin strategy, then I think it just drives the United States to do the very same thing, but at a larger scale and even more accommodative. I would liken this to the space race, and then even following the space race or during the space race, the Cold War that went on for many years afterward. We were all racing to be the first country to land a man on the moon. In the same way, I think that if our adversaries begin adopting a framework around Bitcoin to draw capital allocators, Bitcoin miners, and Bitcoin companies to their countries, and they start mining Bitcoin at the national level or making it easier for Bitcoin miners to operate. And then even you could take it to its highest form, which would be a treasury reserve allocation into Russia's treasury or into China's treasury. Then I think that just makes the United States even more incentivized to do the very same thing, but better. So buying more Bitcoin than China or Russia, allocating to it at a faster rate, making the environment more favorable for Bitcoin companies to operate here stateside. I think that instead of an adversary adopting Bitcoin being met with a response from the United States that's like, now that China is using this, now that Russia is using this, we're going to go and Executive Order 6102 Part 2, civil asset forfeiture, give us all your Bitcoin. I think that instead of that, I think the United States will be driven through incentives to embrace Bitcoin more than it already is and begin really forcefully allocating to it. We are the world's reserve currency and everybody wants our debt. So it's easier for us to raise money than anybody else. And so being able to issue debt and purchase Bitcoin using the proceeds and allocate it to the US Treasury, or even just taking the existing Bitcoin we have now as a base and then dollar cost averaging a certain amount every month, every week, or every quarter into digital Fort Knox, is the United States' likely response in the event that China or Russia begins doing it. That's what I believe will happen. I don't believe that because Bitcoin cannot be stopped, even in a communist country like China, Bitcoin is still used, Bitcoin mining still occurs. I think the United States is well aware of this. And so I think that if one of our adversaries began adopting Bitcoin into their treasury, we would do the very same, and we would try to do it faster than our enemies, which would mean that instead of the governments working against us, the governments would be working for us. Instead of the money printer being levied against citizens and stealing our purchasing power, the money printer would be leveraged to accumulate more and more Bitcoin.
If you like that clip, then you definitely got to check out this next spicy clip. I think you're really going to like it. Come on, check it out. But if you want the full version, the full interview, check that out over here. Come on, do it. I'll see you in there.